Okay, I call to order the September 18th, 2025 meeting of the Land Use Board of Rochelle Park. Open Public Meetings Act, PL 1975, Chapter 231. According to the Open Public Meetings Act, this meeting of September 18, 2025 was published in the Bergen Record and Herald News on April 2nd, 2025, and the Our Town on April 3rd, 2025. In addition, a copy of this notice is and has been available to the public and is on file in the office of the Township Clerk. Will everyone please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Madam Secretary, could you please do the roll call?
Chairperson Warren?
Here.
Vice Chairman Matson will be a few minutes with the chairperson.
Yes.
Mayor Judge Carvello?
Here.
Committeeman Chewinski will also be a couple minutes late. Member Abud?
Here.
Member Coleman?
Here.
Member Dudia?
Here.
Member Holtz? Here. Member Mueller?
Here.
And alternate one Smith?
Here.
And just for the record, the other three alternates are in the audience with us today.
Thank you. All set.
All set.
Before we move on to approval of the minutes, I would like to, Mr. Chewinski has just come in, so we can mark him as present.
Wonderful.
Before we get to the approval of minutes, I just want to acknowledge that Gina Kim is with us again tonight as our Land Use Board Secretary. In order to tie up some loose ends and some inconsistencies, I spoke with the town administrator to see if Ms. Kim would be interested in staying on as our secretary now and in the future. And Mr. Mondello has informed me that tonight we would need to make a motion to do that and have that motion be passed, which would allow Gina to be temporary secretary. And then at the Township Committee meeting on September 24th, I believe it is, the Township Committee would have to approve of Gina taking this position for the remainder of the year. So I do want to thank Gina for stepping in. It was almost very last minute to come tonight. I really appreciate her work and her commitment to the Land Use Board. And so I would like to make a motion to appoint Gina Kim temporary secretary tonight. Can I please get a second?
Mr. Chairman, sorry,
Yes.
but very quickly, would it make more sense perhaps to adjourn this motion? Because what do we do if the Township Committee says we're not willing to share Ms. Kim?
That's an interesting case. I think for tonight, though, we should have her be at least appointed temporary,
Okay.
just because our regularly appointed secretary is not here tonight. Well, Mr. Mondello, what's your thoughts?
Well, the fact that he has been replaced in and of itself is an indication that he has been dismissed. But if you want to be formal, there can be a motion to indicate that the prior board secretary is hereby terminated, and that's one motion, and then you can do the motion for Ms. Kim.
Perfect, okay. So I will make a motion indicating that Michael Giuliano, the Land Use Secretary, has therefore been dismissed by the Land Use Board. Can I get a second? Second. Okay, you want to do a roll call?
I'm sorry, that was Vice Chairman Matson? Who seconded? Or-
I think it was Dean.
Okay, thank you. Chairperson Warren?
Yes.
Vice Chairman Matson?
Yes.
Mayor Judge Carvello?
Mayor?
Yes.
Committeeman Chewinski?
Yes.
Member Abud?
Yes.
Member Coleman?
Yes.
Member Dudia?
Yes.
Member Holtz?
Yes.
Member Mueller?
Yes.
And Mr. Smith has that.
Okay. All right, motion passes. Now we will do the other motion. I'll restate the motion to appoint Gina Kim temporary secretary for this meeting. Can I please have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Would you like to do a roll call?
Chairperson Warren?
Yes.
Vice Chairman Matson?
Yes.
Manager Scrivello?
Yes.
Committeeman Truinsky?
Yes.
Member Abud?
Yes.
Member Coleman? Member Zudia?
Yes.
Member Holtz?
Yes.
Member Mueller? Yes. Motion passes.
Thank you. Any comments or questions from the board?
I just want to make a note to thank the chairman for this change. We had a few issues happen up here, and him recognizing that and making the change as quick as we can. So, thanks.
Thank you very much, appreciate that. Moving forward, before we get to the approval of minutes, I also want to let the land use board know that Mr. James DiMaria, the construction official, will be appearing at the October 16th meeting. He was unable to make tonight. It's back to school night. So it's that time of, September. I had mine on Tuesday. So, but he will be here. Very happy to come on October 16th. And he did ask me if we had any preemptive questions for him that we could send. Be happy to take them and speak with us on October 16th. Are there any questions or comments about that? Seeing none, I'm going to move on to the approval of minutes for July 17th. I believe they were tabled at the last meeting, and they were sent out with more detail, in particular about our discussion with Mr. Verhassel, who has been volunteering for this board. May I please get a motion?
I'll make that motion.
Can I just get a second? Mr. Abud? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any noes? Any abstentions? No? Okay. Next, we'll move on to the August 21st minutes. They are in your packet, and of course, were sent out by Ms. Kim. And may I please get a motion to approve of those minutes?
I'll make that motion.
Thank you. A second, please, Mr. Abud. And all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye?
Aye.
Thank you. Any noes? Mr. Abud is here for every meeting so far, right, Mr. Abud?
No, and then minutes.
Oh, Mr. Cooper, yes.
It was.
Yeah, you were here, and you missed August.
July.
So you just make an abstention, you can't vote, yeah, okay? Please note that Mr. Cooper abstained from both minutes. Thank you. All right, moving on to our public portion, non-agenda items. This is an opportunity for the public to come to the microphone to address the land use board before we hear our applicants for tonight. So can I have a motion to open to the public?
I'll make a motion.
Thank you. Second. Mr. Twinski, all those in favor?
Aye.
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 Thank you. Any noes? Seeing none, the microphone is available for any member of the public to address the land use board. Just please state your name, please, and address.
Good evening, Land Use Board. Bob Verhassel, 40 Parks Place.
Mr. Chairman, excuse me a second.
Yes.
Is the microphone on? Because a lot
Oh,
of
good, yes, good call, Mr. Coleman.
Push the button. Hold the button.
Is that
It's
green? Oh, there we go.
green now. Thank you, Gina.
Thank you.
Oh, it's like I'm at a Springsteen show.
Firing it up again. Thank you for seeing us. Bob Verhassel, 40 Forest Place. Continuing a discussion I had last month about the situation on 29 Fairfield. It continues to be open. I did take your advice last month and attempted to see someone in the building department on Friday. I was there at 11:30 the next morning, and there was no one there. I haven't bothered to go back because I did want to bring up to you the planning board minutes from December 21st, but December 16th, 2021, where this board, or previous incantations of this board, adopted the restrictions on 29 Fairfield. It will be, hang on a second, let me just flip this here. Section H to J, permeable grass pavers will be utilized for the access drive that is being installed on the western side of the self-storage facility out to Fairfield, and it will be used for emergency flood access only. Section K, the emergency access will have a keyless gate at the northwestern corner of the building and a keyless gate at the entrance point on the western side and will be utilized by residents using a code. Stabilized grass section R, TU, Section U, Section 22. Stabilized grass pavers on the access drive to Fairfield Drive from the sidewalk to the curb is acceptable to the NJ Department of Environmental Protection. And it specifically says that the gate's never to be open, and it's only for emergency access. So I know I tried to get in touch with your building department to log a notice that they're not in compliance with your conditions, but if you guys ever get to see somebody in that office, maybe you could mention it to them. You know, I don't have...
Mr. Verhasel, if you could humor me for 1 second.
Yes,
I
sir.
have a question for you. Have you attempted to email that
No, I didn't.
that you've read and...
To Mr. DiMaria?
Yeah.
No, I have not, but I will.
Okay, I was going to say, maybe you could start your own,
Oh, yeah.
paper trail, and to make sure that it's just, I know when you come to visit, there seems to be no one there, or there is no one there, it doesn't seem to be. But I still would like you to not wait a month to maybe get an answer.
It's not going to change in a month, but I will pursue my own path on this as well.
Yeah, and if you
I have
like-
been successful with Mr. DiMaria in the past via email.
Okay, so
Very responsive.
perhaps that's an avenue that you could pursue, and you could quote that direct section.
Oh, I will.
I know you will.
I will.
And maybe then some communication can happen, and maybe code enforcement has to get involved. I'm just speculating, not saying that that's going to be the solution, but
Just as an observation,
Yes.
last month, I did look at it on Saturday, passing through, and it was closed. And I thought, by a miracle, somehow the message had been received. Sunday, wide open. Rest of the week, wide open. It does seem to get closed in the evenings. Thank you. On a completely...
Yes.
I'm sorry.
You can also utilize the SDL portal on the township website. It's the same thing.
It's just more blah, blah, blah. I just want somebody to answer a question, and they need to do their job rather than not be in the office.
But it goes directly to Mr. DiMaria.
Okay, I got Mr. DiMaria's email from his card. On a completely separate matter,
yes.
do we still do tenant reviews? Does somebody? Nobody does anything.
Well, this board doesn't do it anymore.
Who does?
I believe the township council had amended the ordinance. I think the building department does it.
So,
How
It's the
does
same
this
use.
work?
If it's the same use, for the most
How
part.
does the public find out that these things are going on now? Because we used to at least have a forum to inquire and see what's going on. What possessed them to take that away from your duties? Or the planning board, land use, zoning board's duties?
Mr. Mondello,
I don't know what the legislative intent is, but I can tell you this, from other towns,
Uh-huh.
it is typically rote. It is a rubber stamp.
Okay.
Ron's Pizzeria to your pizzeria, and it is a rubber stamp. So most of the building departments handle that function. And so you will never know about that.
So you want me to believe that the same building department that I've been trying to contact is in charge of that, rather than a sitting board duly appointed by elected officials in the state?
may I point out, Mr. Verhassel, I know at least Committeeman Chewinski, I'm sure other people on the Township Committee have been speaking about a database, a website, or something attached to the town website at some point. Mr. Chewinski, I don't know if you want to speak on that, about these particular items and how we don't have the historical database that many believe we should have.
Right, so, to that point, Mr. Verhassel, I brought up a while ago that and it's been brought up by others, but I furthered that point that we do need, I think we're all well aware that we do need an updated website, town website, that has a database that has all the approvals of prior approvals and pending approvals going on in a link on that website that's accessible by the public. So the public can go right to that and say, hey, I'm driving by there and I noticed that the gate is open and closed, and there it is, and that should come up. And you should be able to look that up and say, oh, this is in violation. Generate an email with that section, send it off to, you know, right, to the official, and without having, you know, you can skip a bunch of steps by, the public basically becomes the enforcement, or, you know, I feel the public become the eyes and the ears of the town, and can look these things up legitimately and have it there, but what requires a database, and it requires to go back and to put up, information, whatever records we have from the past that are on existing properties that we've all had questions on, everybody.
Would that include variance requests and things of that?
Yes.
nature, Similar to what we get on the agenda like tonight.
I would feel, yes, I would feel appropriate.
Well, that would be a great idea.
The tool is a great tool to have for the.
I'm going to just mention, contact your local elected official. You know, we may know some of those people, but they have the power of the purse to get that up and running. The land use board does not have any, you know, authority over that type of stuff. So,
Thank you all so much.
thank you, Mr. Verhassel. Mr. Verhassel, real quick, is that microphone light on? I noticed it kind of.
Turn it back on.
All right.
Probably a dead battery. in this.
All right, probably.
I'll turn it on again.
Okay, we'll see it. We'll see. We'll just
You agree?
battery. Okay, thank you so much. Yes, Mayor.
Mr. Verhassel, do you know that we do have new hours for, including
Oh.
the building department?
To that point.
Go ahead.
Yes, I'm quite aware you adopted summer hours. You call summer hours all year long now.
Well, that gives also.
Unfortunately, my
Wednesday
free time is on Friday afternoons.
I-
Apparently, that's in juxtaposition
Right.
with whoever's in that office.
We're trying.
Anyone else in the public would like to come to the microphone? Seeing none, I'd like to make a motion to close. Can I get a second to close the public session? Mr. Aboud, thank you. All those in favor? Aye. Any noes? Okay. Moving on to bills. Gina, you want me to read this out? Right, I can read this. Mr. Mondo doesn't have to read it. So we have a couple of bills that need to be approved for tonight. First up is from Burgess Associates for 25 Susquehanna Avenue in the total amount of $743.75. Second bill from Ronald Mondello for 25 Susquehanna Ave for $300 to the escrow account. The next bill from Ronald Mondello, 25 Susquehanna Ave, $200. And the final bill, Ronald Mondello, 120 West Passaic Street versus the Zoning Board of Adjustment for $1,155. So I'd like to have someone make a motion to approve of those bills.
Make the motion.
All right, and whoever would like to second that, Mr. Aboud, okay, thank you. Let's do a roll call for bills. Thanks.
Chairperson Moore?
Yes.
Vice Chairman Hanson?
Yes.
Mayor Judge Covello?
Yes.
Mayor Venturone?
Yes.
Member Abud?
Yes.
Member Coleman?
Yes.
Member Dudia?
Abstain?
Member Holtz?
Yes.
And Member Mueller? Yes.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Moving on to our applications. First student is not being heard tonight. They are being carried over to the October 16th, 2025 meeting. Mr. Mondello?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. If I could very quickly read the letter from Mr. Rosenberg dated September 17, 2025. As you may recall, we are counsel for a student. The application was originally scheduled for September 8, 2025. We are respectfully requesting the matter be carried to the meeting of October 16, 2025, and that the rescheduled date be announced at the meeting tomorrow evening so that no further public notice needs to be provided. This letter will also serve to confirm that the applicant waives the 120-day period within which the board needs to act on the application, and signed by Mr. Rosenberg. So that would mean if anyone is here on this application, no further notice, and it will be rescheduled and heard on October 16th. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Mr. Mondello, I have one question about that. First students, when they return, it's on the same plans and everything? They can't make any adjustments or no?
They can make
Okay.
adjustments, but they really need to submit those modifications.
Well in advance?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. Moving forward, I do need to ask the Land Use Board for a motion to switch the order of the next two applicants. Just before arrival today, I was notified by the secretary that the attorney for 25 Susquehanna Avenue will be a little bit late, which is, of course, you know, normal around here with traffic. And if they could be heard at the back end of the meeting tonight for their application. And then we would be hearing 2 East Terrace Avenue I can do that on my own. Fantastic. I don't need a motion for that. Thank you so much. So we're going to switch those orders. You learned something new at the Land Use Board. Thank you so much. So, Susquehanna, we're going to hang on to you till your attorney arrives. And if you are here for the application of 2 East Terrace Avenue, Block 205, Lot 1, please come on up. And is that microphone on too over there? If they want to sit, you could have a seat there if you'd like, or you could stand. But maybe sitting with that microphone, since that battery is not too great.
If I could jump in, Mr.
Mr.
Chairman, on
Mondell,
some
it's all yours,
procedural
yes.
issues. I am in receipt of the notice of publication that you sent to the newspaper. I have no evidence that you served residents within 200.
I have everything for you.
Could you please approach with that? Thank you. All right, thank you, sir. So, Mr. Chairman, I would deem the application complete from a notice perspective, and that the jurisdiction is vested in the board to hear the application. May I proceed to swear them in? Who's going to be testifying?
I will.
Okay, would you please stand up?
Yep.
Raise your right hand. Do you swear affirm testimony about to give the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So help
Yes,
you
I
God. You can put your hand down. Please state your name, spell your last name, and give us your address.
My name is Stephanie Aguila Achardi. Last name is Aguila-Acciardi, and it's 2E Terrace Avenue, Rochelle Park.
All right, please be seated, and please tell the board what you want to do and why you want to do it.
Absolutely. Well, good evening, everyone, and thank you so much for hearing us out here today. We're requesting an approval for a 6-foot fence. It's about 3 to 4 feet away from the property line. It's actually hoping to match exactly what our backyard neighbor has, directly from their fence straight on, which I believe William Coleman saw earlier today. And, yes. And the reason why is because we live right next to the elementary school. There's a lot of foot traffic there. We have the high school's bus path right there, a lot of foot traffic. We're getting a lot of wild animals actually going into our property. We have some photos here of deers, raccoons, a bunch of other items, even our neighbor's cats. There's some people that are actually leaving their dogs loose without leashes that's going on the school property that we're afraid that they might come onto our property.
Do you have any children?
Not yet, and we're hoping to expand. So we want to make sure we have something that makes us feel safe. It's a health concern, privacy as well. We have nieces and nephews that do come over, and we want them to be able to feel comfortable in our backyard. We try to have an occasion, a Labor Day, and my mother-in-law is also allergic to dogs. She just didn't feel safe to have the nieces and nephews just running around because we didn't have a fence. So we're just asking you to help us feel safe, have some privacy, and not worry about any health concerns. Thank you.
Stephanie, can I ask you one question? I'm just reading the denial of application, maybe up here as well.
Yeah.
Where it says fence, driveway, and pavers, that's all together. Is that something you're looking for as well, or not, just the fence?
He approved the fence between our neighbor,
Okay.
and then us. He just denied the William Street fence.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, I'm going to open up to the board if they have questions for the applicant. Please just let me know so we can not all speak at once. Mr. Trinsky, please.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, thank you.
This is your survey, right?
Yes.
The survey, the portion of fence you're speaking about is the red line there?
May I come up and see?
Yes, absolutely, yes, you can. Absolutely, yes, sorry. I was looking at the same red line.
Correct.
That's what we're talking about?
Exactly. So our neighbor's fence is right here, and we just want to go straight.
And then on the back of our garage, we don't have any. So just go.
Thank you.
Just straight ahead.
This is school over here.
Thank you so much.
So traditionally, for the purview of the rest of the board, traditionally, the concerns that I've ever seen at 6-foot fences or granting a 6-foot fence were visibility issues going around, especially on a corner property where we've seen some come up in the past. I always look to hear the safety for the town and the residents, no offense to any applicant, but to all the residents that are going to, and the first responders that have to go around corners that cannot see visibly when you have a 6-foot fence up on a corner piece of property. This, however, to me, the way I'm reading this is where they want to put up their 6-foot fence along the back of their garage. I mean, it is a side yard, but it's clearly, to me, very far from the corner, exceeding any kind of issues that we would have. So to me, I don't see any issues with that.
Mr. Twinsky, just want to point out too that I noticed from the red line, it doesn't go all the way out. If you follow their driveway, we've had issues with fences where it extends right out to the edge of their driveway, which you can't see when you're backing out. This does not do that. Is that right? So I see it stops about a quarter of the way so that you can see when you're pulling out, whether reversed or forward, which is something we've seen before here, which has been an issue with visibility and driving.
I understand completely.
To me, that's always the key.
Okay. Yes, Mr. Coleman, yes.
I visited the site, which we've done numerous times.
Yes.
And that 6 foot that they're going across from their neighbors, they have a 6-foot fence there. They're only going 66 inches back into the house, and the front of that is 17 feet to the street. So my concern, like Mr. Troinski's, is the line of sight, and at 66 inches, 65 inches, that's the hood of the car, so there's plenty of visibility up and down the street.
Perfect.
And the fence on the other side is along the side of the house.
Correct. Yeah, no objections, Mr. Coleman?
I don't see any objections, and if there's no questions, I'll make a motion.
I believe Ms. Holtz just wanted to ask something, Ms. Holtz, and then we can move
My
forward.
questions are mostly for Mr. Mondello,
Yes.
actually. Just clarification, in the denial application letter, it does say that the driveway width is not permitted to exceed 18 feet, but then it does say that the work can proceed if it's aside from the fence. So is the driveway width acceptable?
They're not here for any type of variance, so
Okay.
I was somewhat confused too. Why were those two things denied? Can you explain the conversation between yourself and the construction code official as to
Absolutely.
why he denied impervious coverage, and he also denied the width of the driveway? What was going on that
He
night?
thought that we were trying to go higher than 18 feet because that's what the apron was. And then once we explained, he came in person, and once we explained that we wouldn't go over the 18 feet, he said that was totally fine.
Okay.
So we had no issue with the driveway. It was just the fence because of how it was set up.
And I'm still perplexed as to why he would deny impervious coverage when a fence is being installed.
That was in relation to the driveway, and then he thought that it was gonna exceed the 18 feet, so I think he was thinking.
But impervious coverage is cement, asphalt, pavers.
I would say maybe the paper.
Yeah.
But there was no objection, okay.
And then my second.
So the only, I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. No, you can keep going.
So the only relief that you will be seeking this evening is a 6-foot fence, but the maximum is 3 feet. Okay. Yeah.
My second question is that we had a very similar situation on the previous board. I believe it was a year or two ago. And they were granted it due to a hardship, and it's on a corner, and their driveway is right there. Would that be considered past practice setting?
No, planning and zoning applications, they are on their own merit. It isn't stare decisis. We don't say, just because we did something in one application we do it for another. Each
Okay,
one
thank you.
stands on its own merit.
Thank you.
That one
They're-
probably
they're
was
very
closer.
similar, yes, it is, the driveway is much closer to the corner, it's also much closer to the driveway. They also promised that they would back into the driveway as a exception,
Hmm.
and they do not.
Ah,
I just wanted to make sure that we're not setting a precedent by allowing, because I do see a lot of 6-foot fences in town. I just wanted to make sure that.
No, you would be
Okay.
well within your rights to
Right to
deny it.
I'm not,
Yeah.
I don't agree.
Mr. Dudier, did you want to say something or
That
no?
was the same thing.
Ms. Muller?
Yeah, first off, I'm glad we got the updated, site plan, because, I had no idea where the house was before, so that was helpful. And I walked around the whole neighborhood today, and I went here, but I'm looking at, the picture you submitted for, one Forest Place. You're looking,
Yeah, that's,
oh, okay, I'm looking at the middle view there, and you have your new white fence, is that your fence?
that's their fence.
That's, okay. So I'm looking at the top one now. Now, the top fence was at an angle. If you look at the top picture?
I don't have that one with me, if you may. Can I? Yeah.
You can come up and look at this one here.
Thank you so much. I mean, it was almost angled like
Yeah,
we've
so
been told to do.
this is their fence, my
Right.
backyard neighbor's fence, this one and that one. They're both theirs.
But if that one does not exist anymore at the top. It goes straight across. If you look at the bottom one, now it's squared off. At the top, it was angled.
Yeah, because that's the way I took the photo. Just I wanted to show this piece. So then
Oh.
this is this way. It's a different angle, that's
All
all.
right, okay.
So it's not an angled corner, it's a hard, gotcha.
It's 90-degree now, but I'm looking at the one fence along yours is a new fence. And the one along the top, that goes, along Williams is an old fence. So I'm just wondering how,
Stephanie, can you testify that these are the two same fences?
Yes, I can.
So they're both the same fence. It looks like one has that angle cut out, but it's the way she stood to take the picture is what she's testifying.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay.
the garbage on the ground along the fence.
Yeah. That's true.
I don't know, I only see the corner at the top.
So just the record is clear, you took those photographs?
Yes, I did.
When did you take them?
When I submitted the application, I don't remember. I have an email that I can probably
June
share with
9th.
you.
And
That was a while
those
ago.
pictures accurately reflect the conditions as we sit here today?
Yes, same exact.
So I was just thinking when we were talking about the permits, you have all kinds of new pavers and things, some nice pavers in the back. Maybe were you trying to extend them and
No. We got approval for what we have now, and that was all we wanted. We just wanted to get this approval here for the fence since that was denied.
because I also saw the fence all lined up, all ready to go alongside.
Yeah, I know that, the person that bought did the middle fence for us, because we got that approved originally from James, he bought extra by accident, so it's just sitting there. We're not touching it unless we get approved from you guys.
Okay, so I walked around the neighborhood and I pretty much saw everything the same around, so I don't have anything.
Thank you very much, Ms. Muller. Okay, I'm going to ask our professional, yes, Mr. Metzen.
How long have you guys lived in the house?
Living a year, a little bit over a year. We bought the house in 2022.
Thank you.
One more thing.
Yeah.
This picture that we were just all looking at, I looked up the picture, I know it could be old, but I just went on Google Maps to see it.
Yeah.
There used to be all trees in there, and I don't see them in this picture now, but I see them like in this Google picture.
Yeah, that was taken away a long time ago.
Okay, I was just wondering. That's all.
I'm going to turn over to our professionals if they have anything to weigh in on this very intricate land use.
No, I think Mr. Chewinski actually explained the planning rationale for why you would have a 3-foot fence in terms of site visibility, and it doesn't seem to be an issue here.
Okay, thank you. Yes, from Boswell?
Mr. Chairman, first off,
Oh, yeah, just say your name, yes.
I'm Paul Ferraro from Boswell. Nice to meet all
Hi,
of you
Paul.
tonight. Just two very short comments. The first is I concur that there is not a safety issue with the way that this is set up. Another comment that I heard was the talking about, these fences in front yards. I would say that this probably distinguishes itself from many because this fence extends for 25% of the front yard. It's not like it's the entire width of the front yard, so it's not going to create a mass like you might see in some places. So I don't think it's going to create an issue in that regard.
Thank you very much. I'm going to ask any members of the public who'd like to come up and they can ask questions, Mr. Mondell? Yes, so.
You can give testimony, they can ask questions.
So, do I have to make a motion for that? Or can we just do it in the middle of the case? Just members of the public, you can step up to the microphone. Hopefully it's on, but state your name and address. All right, talk loud.
Again, 40 Park Place. I just don't understand, this house has no sidewalk. Mr. Warren has asked about people with sidewalks and the right of way. How far from the curb line, I guess, is the question. Where will the fence be?
Pretty far.
Oh, it's quite a distance then.
Yes.
But not anything to do with you guys. Do you guys have plans for all those little side streets to ever mandate that they have sidewalks installed?
I have plans, but I don't know if the town does. Thank you. Any other member from the public? Okay, seeing none, I'm going to turn it back to the board. So we would like to make a motion to approve this application or deny it. I'm going to open up to the board to.
I'll make a motion.
Mr. Truinsky make a motion. The Mayor, Judge Crivello, will second it. Please do a roll call, Gina.
Chairperson Warren?
Yes.
Vice Chairman Messer?
Yes.
Mayor Judge Covello?
Yes.
Committeeman Truinsky?
Yes.
Member Booth?
Yes.
Member Coleman?
Yes.
Member Duda?
Yes.
Member Holtz?
Yes.
Member Miller?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Congratulations. I hope you enjoy your fence and you get everything you want out of that. So appreciate your time and your application.
Well, thank you all so much. Really appreciate it.
Mr. Mondella, what are the next steps for them, just so they know? We have to pass a resolution?
Yeah, so the board will pass a resolution at the next meeting. However, some building departments will indeed allow, once they know that you have been approved by the board, they will issue a permit. So you'll have to speak to the building department about that. Every town is different, but I don't speak to Mr. Di Maria. He may issue you the permit and you may be able to construct.
Okay. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank
Reach
you.
out to him.
Okay. All right, moving forward, I know we switched the order for Susquehanna, so we had time for their attorney to arrive. Is your attorney here yet, or?
Not yet, he should be in about 5 minutes.
Okay, so we can do a recess?
Yes.
Okay, so make a motion to take a let's say 10-minute.
Mr. Chairman, I'm going to have to excuse myself from this particular meeting.
Thank you. So we'll have an alternate come and fill your spot, Mr. Dudia. Thank you for your time. All right. Make a motion to have a 10-minute recess. Can I get a second?
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor? Aye. Okay. We're now in recess.
Please reach out to your attorney because the board is not inclined to wait an hour.
Okay, we are going to reopen the public meeting for the September 18, 2025 Land Use Board. Can I please have a motion to reopen?
I'll make a motion. A second.
All right, Mr. Abud motion, Ms. Holt second. All those in favor? Aye. Aye. Okay. We're going to divert from the agenda just to give the applicant, their attorney, a few more minutes to hopefully get here. Otherwise, we will have to proceed. All right. But we do have one item of new business to discuss with Mr. Burgess. I was on an email maybe about a week or so ago with Mr. Burgess, and I believe some members of the Township Committee and the Town Administrator about the upcoming master plan revision for Rochelle Park. So I did speak with Mr. Burgess to see if tonight he would be able to give the Land Use Board a little overview about what this procedure is, why we have to do it, and just open up that conversation. Before Mr. Burgess does present, this Land Use Board is going to have to just make a decision about our future meetings and how we want to incorporate our conversations about the master plan within regular business. I know having additional meetings is probably not conventional, given that there's so many of us. So we may want to discuss with Mr. Burgess the when we discuss master plan items, we do them at 6 PM and end them at 7, and then we hear our cases. But I'll let Mr. Burgess share with us his experience, but he definitely suggests we dedicate a amount of time in each of our public meetings when we're fresh to discuss. Are we okay?
Yeah.
You all right, Mr. Coleman?
Just got a little step here.
Oh, all right. Okay, Mr. Burgess, it's all yours.
Okay, thank you. The municipal land use law is the statute that identifies what is involved in a master plan. It specifies that minimally every 10 years you are obligated to at least do a master plan reexamination report, or alternatively you can do a comprehensive new master plan. Back in 2016, March 24th of 2016 to be precise, the planning board adopted an amendment to the land use element. Prior to that, your last full comprehensive master plan was adopted March 6th of 1991. That's far from the oldest master plan in the county. I've recently been involved in one that was dated 1976. So, needless to say, a lot of things have changed. Actually, a lot of things have changed between 2016 and today, let alone 1991. Now, what I would suggest is two things at the outset. And it's only because with all the affordable housing provisions that we are wrestling with on behalf of the municipality, that won't end until, well, no later than December 31st. I would suggest that it might be in your best interest to do what I will call a down and dirty re-examination report that at least makes you legal for beyond March of 2026, when you are obligated to either do a REAX or a full-blown master plan. And that will be a simple couple-page document that identifies the specifics that are spelled out in the statute for a re-examination report, because the conclusion would be that you want to do a new, comprehensive new master plan. Unless you don't. If you only want to do a re-examination report, which is a lot less expensive, you can do that also. But in terms of comprehensive master plans, there are a lot of new things that your master plan does not contain. The 2016 document, for example, only made modifications with respect to recommendations for certain adjustments to the plan. It didn't adjust goals and objectives from the 1991 document. And that is really critical, because when a developer comes before the board for a use variance, or even for any bulk variances, one of the things they have to address is there a substantial impairment to the intent of the master plan. Usually the focus is goals and objectives. Your goals and objectives, quite frankly, are very out of date. The municipal land use law requires 3 specific elements that all master plans are required now to have. One is a land use element, which you have. One is a housing element and fair share plan, which you have. The master plan file that was online does not identify the fact that you have whether you have a recycling element or not. I've got to believe you have one, because everybody was required to do that back in the late 90s, I believe it was. But in addition to that, when you do a new master plan or a new land use plan element, you are now obligated to prepare what's called a climate change related vulnerability assessment. And that's a detailed analysis of current and future threats to natural hazards and flooding, for example. It requires you to do a build-out analysis with respect to anticipated future development, and you're obligated to identify critical facilities and infrastructure that would be necessary in the case of a natural disaster, and how that evacuation process would occur. So these are critical elements that need doing. In addition to that, the municipal land use law was amended recently to require what's called a green building and sustainability element to a master plan. and that talks about how you would utilize and encourage renewable energy systems, encourage and promote natural resource protections, and optimize climate conditions through site orientation and design criteria. So, there's a lot of new stuff in there that had never been in place when you've done either the 2016 document versus 1991. The process is fairly straightforward. This is purely a planning board function, or land use board function. The governing body does not get involved in it at all. What happens is when you prepare the implementing ordinances, that's when the governing body adopts those things. What I've often recommended is that if you're going to put this on a regular agenda item, put it first, as was just suggested, because everybody's fresh. Nobody wants to start talking about master plans at 10 o'clock at night, as if you had shaking. No, we don't.
Well, I would.
Well, more
But
power to you.
I'm the weird one up here, so yeah.
And an hour is usually sufficient, especially if you have a detailed agenda. If you do not, we could extend that time to, 2 hours. But it's important to be respectful about any development applications. Some municipalities will actually have a subcommittee that I could meet with during the week, during the daytime, if it's necessary, just to discuss various issues that we would present to the full board in a regularly scheduled meeting. I find that very helpful, so we're not guessing what your interests really are on certain issues.
Mr. Burgess, that subcommittee, who makes that up? Is it members of the land use board? It's
Yes,
not a quorum of the land
It
use board.
cannot be a quorum, but yes, it's members of the board itself.
Okay. Mr. Burgess, we have 2 members of the governing body on this land use board. They can be in these discussions as their capacities here.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. If you're going to do a comprehensive new master plan, the municipal land use law identifies 15 or so different elements that you could consider. What I would suggest I would do is put together a list of the items, and we can then discuss which ones you would like to consider. It might just be the obligatory ones. You might have you might have an interest in doing 1 or 2 others, I don't know. But I'll give you the full list so you can decide for yourselves.
Yes, Mayor, you have a question? Or? No? Okay.
Mr. Chairman, can I make a comment on the
Yes.
required elements?
Sure.
Because I just have to.
Okay.
Sit here completely.
I can see your...
We sit together in other boards, we constantly talk over.
While the MLUL gives you a certain number of items that are required, the DEP has done you a favor in your municipal stormwater permit. You also have to have a stormwater management plan, which is an element of your master. It's not laid out in the MLUL. It's outlined in your MS4 permit. Your last one was from 2005. Usually that is a document that's prepared by your engineer. I can tell you that the DEP, with the reissuance of the permit, was supposed to come up with a new framework. They haven't done that yet. It's been 2 years. We've been waiting for that to come out. But just to add on to your to-do list, make sure you add the stormwater management plan.
Yeah, actually, that is like a subheading in that environmental sustainability section that I mentioned earlier. And I would obviously defer to the engineer rather, because we're not engineers. I would refer to the engineer for it to be done.
Mr. Burgess, I'm going to open up to the board just if they have any questions, but I know you are very experienced with this, and you have seen how outdated our plan is. I mean, just from this conversation. This board, I think, would like to hear recommendations from you, not tonight, but taking a closer look at the master plan that we have now and, comparing us to other size towns that, similar to us and maybe some more modernization that you've been seeing in other towns, to maybe have just some ideas to share with us that you may want to recommend, to the entire land use board in the direction that you think maybe we should go based on your experience. So I'll open up to the Land Use Board for any questions to Mr. Burgess and Paul, right, from Boswell, right? Yes, okay, good, fantastic.
I have a
Okay.
question.
Yes.
In the scope of the master plan, does that also address, or maybe I didn't hear it, does it address also areas of need of redevelopment, or is that a separate topic?
That is a separate topic. However, in the land use plan element section, oftentimes we will recommend areas to be studied as a possible area in need of redevelopment.
So that doesn't have to wait for the master plan, that can
No.
actually be something we can address
Oh, certainly, yes.
sooner. Okay.
Any other members of the Land Use Board with questions, comments? Mr. Smith, yes, Alderman Smith.
How often, I heard every 10 years is another master plan?
Correct.
When you're creating a master plan, how far are you looking ahead? 25 years, 30 years? But as far as developing,
Yeah,
not just 10 years. as
you
far as-
typically look 20 to 30 years in the future.
Mr. Burgess, so for our October meeting, I'm going to set aside the first hour for some more conversations. That's all. So, if you can take a closer look at that plan and really speak to the detriments that you see, and then to recommendations that you think we should go down and follow. By November, we'll try to get that subcommittee together so that we can start to organize have those day meetings that you would then present the findings to the full land use board in our normal sessions. Is that
Yeah, I'm
copacetic?
just
Is that good? Is
checking,
that
October 16th, you said?
yes, our next meeting is at 6 p.m.
Yeah, I just want to make certain I'm available. It looks like I am. Okay. October 16th it is.
Yes. And Mr. Burgess, one last question before we move forward, at least for me, if anyone else would like to ask a question. Is there any kind of homework you recommend that we do to start to get our brains tweaked toward master planning?
Well, I would suggest you take a look at that, both the 1991 document and the 2016 document, and think about the kind of goals and objectives. I will tell you right now, the way we write master plans, we talk about what your goal and your objective maybe is two separate components of the document. But with every objective, we also have an associated policy statement where we explain what that goal means to the municipality. So when someone comes before the board for a use variance in particular, it's spelled out very clearly what is meant by that goal or objective and tightens the process for what they can argue, because there's a lot of planners, as we've experienced, who will say, will take any goal and try to tell you what it meant, what the authors meant, and we'd rather have it spelled out in the ordinance, in the plan, so they can't do that to you.
Great. That's great advice. Thank you.
And secondly, for a community like Rochelle Park, oftentimes we recommend you consider as a separate element a community facilities element. Especially with any additional housing that may happen, we want to make certain that your community facilities are sufficient to address whatever issues can come from increased population, or if it's non-residential, increased traffic. So, it's something that, you might want to think about, so we can have a good discussion about that on the 16th.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Burgess. Anyone else for comments or questions? Mr. Burgess. Mr. Coleman, yes.
Mr. Burgess, is there, regarding pre-existing non-conforming uses, is there any powers that we have to get these non-conformities into conforming?
I know. That's a more limited area. However, we can address it to a certain extent in the text of the plan and the kind of goals that we formulate to try to see those kinds of uses convert over time to a permitted use.
Okay, so we might have a time frame that we give the non-conforming use to either become conforming or...
In a limited way, that's possible, but the courts have generally frowned on that except for limited exceptions.
Okay.
Okay.
Might be
Thank you, Mr.
grandfathered in.
Yeah, but sometimes the way they were originally approved, you
Some
might.
of them before the prohibiting ordinance.
Yeah. No.
Mayor?
Mr. Burgess, just an estimated cost of something like this?
I will be better able to tell you that after I give a good read on the two master plan documents. So we
Maybe
can
you
talk
can give an
about
idea next
that on the
time you
16th.
come. And also, we just have to, we're looking at the new state ordinance that came in about the water, you have to raise your house after a certain percent of 50, you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yes.
Does that also have to be part of the master plan on that?
That will be part of that
The
stormwater
engineers,
management.
right?
Probably, it's not directly in the stormwater
Right.
management plan,
Mhm.
but I'm assuming you're talking about the flood damage
I am.
prevention ordinance that's
Right.
mandated by
Yes.
the state. Every town has to make it
Right.
consistent. It would probably be touched on in the master plan in some ways, only in the context of you have to make sure you do things properly in floodplains.
I'm sorry?
Yeah, you have to make sure you do things properly in floodplains. That's about
Right.
what you would say in the master plan.
Okay.
And then the flood damage prevention ordinance would take over that, take over from there. And my general opinion is sometimes, particularly on a very technical ordinance like that, if you get very specific in your master plan, then you have a problem with the ordinance down the road as it gets changed, whether it's mandated by the state, that's government.
Right. Or if they change it, we'd have to
We'll have to
adjust that.
change it.
And
Yeah.
that would then have to be adjusted with the ordinance and in the master plan. So we want to kind of make it a general.
Yeah, more general, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. We're going to move forward with our next applicant. We're ready. The application for 25 Susquehanna Ave, C2 variance. Last hearing was August 21st. Mr. Mondello?
All right, welcome back, Counselor. Please enter your appearance into the record, and then why don't you update the board as to where we are? Please have a seat, gentlemen.
You're welcome, no problem.
Enter your appearance into the record using the microphone.
Pachal Kanani, attorney for Kaswala.
Please tell the board where we are at with this application. Thank you.
Thank you for, I apologize for running a bit behind today. I thank you.
No problem, you're welcome.
So, we have returned with an updated plan set, addressing the issues that were raised last time. The new planning includes a two-car garage, and we're hoping that that addresses the parking concerns that were justifiably raised at the last hearing. And we're happy to answer any questions or concerns that the board may have.
So one of the board members had expressed, certainly no reflection of this application, had indicated some concern that they see these types of houses where more than one family is actually living in the residence. And the Rochelle Park Township Ordinance at section 185-97 defines family. Any number of persons related by blood, marriage, or adoption, or living together as a single housekeeping unit. Would it be your client's testimony, and you remain sworn, sir, please just state your name again for the record, and perhaps you can just reassure the board that this isn't going to be three separate families, but one big extended family.
Yep, my name is Mihir Kaswala, and I assure you that it's just going to be my blood relatives living there as we are now.
Why don't you tell us who's going to live there
It
again?
would be me, my parents, my grandmother, and my sister.
Fine, thank you. Okay. I'm pretty sure that would suffice.
Very good. Board members, we're going to open up with you guys for questions about the revamped drawings. If anyone up here has a question, I know they did move the things that were asked. Board members,
Yeah, I have.
Ms. Muller?
I have a bunch of questions.
You got it.
Well, probably, I mean, I know the engineer has like 40 or 50 comments on their paper, so at some point, we have to go into that.
Okay.
Okay, I'll just start with, What's the width of your driveway now? Like, we already did all this, but do you know the width of your driveway now? And then what's it going to be?
I believe, it's going to be 21 feet, and I believe it is, I want to say about 15 or something currently.
Okay. Are you going to have to remove curbing and, I guess it's called, I don't know what you call it, opening the street, or you have to dig up the street, or there's something somebody would know, like Matt would know what that is. If you have to, you need a permit for that.
Right.
So you have to do that?
I think they should require minimal curb cut change.
Right.
I think it is going to be widened, to some extent, so I think we would need to, adjust, but I think it's only minor, as the drive is located in the same general area of the current location.
Okay, are you moving your front entrance a little more to the right, right? It seems?
Yes.
And the steps?
Yes.
So, are you moving, there's a small retaining wall there, too. Does that have to be, moved over? I know in your application you said you didn't have any retaining wall. It's a small retaining wall, but that's all being shifted over? Or are you gonna, or what?
I think, with the new construction, I think there's not gonna be need for that retaining wall. There's an excess soil there, and that's why there is.
Well, why don't you have the applicant testify, because most attorneys don't testify. Why don't you answer the questions that were just answered? Yeah.
Yeah, like you were saying, with the new construction, that retaining wall probably won't be there. It's just going to be grass, the front yard. It's going to be flat with the driveway. That's kind of only there, so it, meets the current height of the doorway. Instead of it being just 3 steps straight down, we kind of have the steps going into the driveway at the moment. That's how we bought the house, but with the new construction, it'll probably just be flat.
Okay. When you first go to that, if one actually goes to look at your house, it gives the appearance that it's sitting on a hill, but compared to all the neighbors, but that just seems to be a mound of dirt there.
Yeah.
So are you going to remove all that dirt? Are you going to level that ground? What do you,
We haven't thought that far yet, but I guess that's an option to remove it. If we don't need to remove it once we get to that point, we may leave it there. I'm not sure how that dirt will affect the construction, but I have no, at the moment, I have no preference. Either way.
okay, do you have a basement now?
No.
Just curious, okay. Okay, so I'm looking at your plans now, just real quick. A004. Okay. You're removing the, compared to your other survey, you're removing the window in the middle, right? You had a nice big window in the front there, so you're removing that, or are you removing, well, according to the plans you are. And in the back, you have a much larger, nice back door with wider steps, but, so you have no walkway or patio or cement back there at all? So you're just coming off the steps into the,
Yep.
I guess,
Yeah.
to pebble plow?
Into the grass, I guess, yes.
Are you plan on putting any sort of pervious stuff there, maybe?
Not at the moment, we haven't
All right.
plans for that, no.
Okay, so A05, you have a new roof plan, and your windows are different from your last plan? Is your attic bigger?
Compared to the previous plan that we submitted or the
Yes.
current?
No, to your previous, when I'm talking about your other stuff, it's the
previous.
last plan, yeah.
I don't believe so.
It just gives you, if you're looking at it, it just seems a lot, a lot bigger.
Mhm.
And then, and you can stand up in that attic, right? It's like 8'6"
Yeah, but I guess only right at the center, that's that's the measurement that I see, yeah.
Okay. And I know you don't address, see, these are engineering things. it seems that when you either get new people or new, adding on to their homes or building new homes, as far as lighting goes, they seem to feel they need to light up the whole neighborhood with a lot of these new homes. Would you be able to like direct your lighting sort of downward?
Yeah, that wouldn't be an issue. I don't have any plans for any outward lights or anything like that, but
Right.
yeah, that'd be completely
And
fine.
then I think it was brought up last time that if you need air conditioning, it's gotta go in the back. Okay, that's really all of the, but I think a lot of this is engineering stuff. I don't know. Again, there's like 40 comments from the engineers for sewer and water, and I don't know who answers that.
I'll have the professional
I mean, on
comment
their
to that.
side.
Because they'll have to answer it. Anyone else on the land use board before I jump to the professionals and their thoughts on the new plan?
I have a question.
Yes, Mr. Coleman.
Mr. Cazal, I know you have a distribution business. Will you be doing any of your business out of that residence?
No, distribution business.
And I know we got a letter from the building department saying that 4 parking spaces are required, but we still need 5 parking spaces according to our ordinance. So if we vote on it tonight, it would have to be also for the parking. 18576.
So you would need 4 outside, or?
No, you need 2 inside and 3 outside. So if we're gonna vote tonight, we would also be voting, I believe, on the parking.
So Bill, this is a, single-family home, and the professionals can correct me if I'm mistaken, but the RSIS kicks in, and I forget what that percentage is, but I think they need not exceed 2.5 or 2.75?
3.5.
Thank you, 3.5.
Yeah, the RSIS outlines what the standards are for parking. And I've seen this where different municipalities have their own standards, but I think when it comes down to it, it's the RSIS that governs.
Agreed.
Because if you read the regulation, it says it's the maximum that can be required.
Right.
Then I think this is part of the reevaluation of some of the ordinances.
Well, the state law preempts essentially, because there are towns that, they want 7 when there's 3 bedrooms, and it just doesn't work that way according to the state, and the state has preempted that.
Okay. I'm going to go to our professionals. I'll come back to the board. Mr. Burgess and the gentleman from Boswell, Paul. I know your last name again is? Ferrera, thank you. Would you please comment?
It's primarily engineering, so I'm sort of pulling off.
All righty.
Correct his mistakes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm reviewing the letter from Costa Engineering that was dated September 12th. I understand some comments that the commentary from the board that there's a lot of comments in here. I will say that the first 3 pages relate to completeness, and those have already been addressed, as well as the zoning analysis. And one thing that I would just bring to the board's attention and the applicant's attention is that part of this is a variance for the maximum improved coverage. It's not a variance, but it's at 48.6%. So while there's no plan for patio at this point, you are limited into what you can put in that backyard without a variance and coming back here. So it's really informational for the applicant. Then when we move into page 4 of the Costa report, it starts with parking. We just talked about that. And then there are a series of general comments. The first one talks about testimony regarding variances and whether there's any covenants, deed restrictions on the property. And I don't know if that's been addressed as prior hearing or not. Okay. So then as we move further down, there's a comment about whether there's any tree removal required as part of this work.
None that I anticipate at the moment.
Okay. And with that, I will go back to comment from one of the board members is, it's from what's presented, it's basically a two-dimensional plan, you don't really know what's going on. And I would suggest that if the board were inclined to approve this application, that they be required to submit a grading plan. And that grading plan is going to show slope of the driveway, whether there's going to be a retaining wall, what the final grades are going to be. I don't think that's, a major issue at this point, but if the board were to approve it, I would think that should be a condition of any action by the board.
Any objection?
I just want to point out, if you are going to remove trees, we do have a town ordinance that's actually from this New Jersey DEP. All towns in New Jersey, you must get a permit to remove a tree if the tree is alive. And you can get that from the building department here. I'll have to make sure you follow that procedure. That's good, Mr. Ferrari.
And going to the bottom of page 4, starting with comment 7, there's a couple of new comments. First is, what is the material for the driveway? It looks like it's shaded as a concrete, but is that the intent, or will it be paved?
Probably with currently concrete, I think it makes sense to keep it concrete.
Okay, because you're going to have to rip out what's there and completely replace it, which goes to the curb cut issue. Yes, there will need to be a curb cut. Part of it, the curb needs to be raised because part of the driveway is going away, and it's going to have to be widened where the curb is going to be dropped. So that's going to have to be done as part of the final plan. And comment 8 notes that the sidewalk and driveway along Susquehanna Avenue are not shown. They should be added onto the grading plan. And also, he notes that the details for all the concrete work, the sidewalk and curb in the right-of-way needs to be shown as part of that road opening permit. And item number 9 states that the applicant shall install and maintain appropriate soil erosion sediment control measures along the property lines. That's important as we go through. Next, continuing down to page 5, there's some engineering comments. The first one is provide existing and proposed elevations at all building corners to confirm the no regrading proposed in that area. I think that is addressed by the requirement for a lot grading plan that will provide that detail. Next, talks about the removal of the concrete and ensure the grade matches the existing elevation. Again, that goes to the lot grading plan. That will show all that. And then the last one under grading and drainage is that if the applicant disturbs more than 5,000 square feet of soil, you need approval from the Bergen County Soil Conservation District. And you might think, well, the lot's only 5,000 square feet. How can you disturb more? Well, you're working in the right of way too, so that counts. So with the lot grading plan, it'll be able to show what the limit of disturbance is to see if that permit is required. The next section has to do with utilities. Really, it means you've got to show the existing utilities. If you're going to reuse them, they need to be inspected and make sure that they are functional and will serve the new unit. And it talks about standards and the improvements. Any sewer and water being installed in accordance with the standards in the township ordinance and the RSIS. And on the bottom of page 5, we get into the lighting comments, lighting and landscaping comments. And the question is there going to be exterior lighting? The applicant has said no. I would say that there will be exterior lighting because you're going to have it over the doors. And an appropriate requirement might be that be downward.
That was his testimony.
Right. And that may be an appropriate condition to support with approval. Then the next page, on top of page 6, we talk about parking. It says it complies. And then the balance of it are items that are typically conditions of an affirmative action by the board. So that's the summary of Mr. Costa's report.
Thank you.
Okay. Yes, Mr. Burgess, I'm sorry.
The only other thing I would like to add, there are 2 variances associated with the application, one for building coverage, and they're increasing it by about 183 square feet, and then the side yard setback variance on the east side of the property. Now, if you recall, when we reconfigured this rough sketch here at the table, we had told the board that the variances, those two variances that were being generated were generated by, since you agreed with us, the recommendation of the board. So I would believe that that alone would justify the relief, since you would ask them to do the very thing that they need this relief for.
I recall.
I'm sorry. Mr. Burgess, you said that a variance for side yard? I don't see that on page 3. The only thing I see is the maximum building coverage.
And I think if you look on page 3, the line that I think we're talking about is minimum side yard total.
Yeah, there's a
It says the
total,
proposed is 15, it's actually 12,
right.
because it's 5 feet plus 7 feet.
Yeah, you're required to have at least 5, but a total of 15. And if you recall, in order to get the two-car garage and then reconfigure the interior of the building, we had to widen the building a little bit.
So proposed should be 12 feet, not 15 as indicated on page 3 of Mr. Costa's report.
Yeah, that's what it says. The zoning table in the applicant's submission has it correct.
Okay, thank you. So 2 variances, the minimum side yard total, and then the maximum building coverage. Correct. Yeah, all right.
Okay, back to the members of the board. Questions or comments, and then we're going to have to move forward with an approval or denial based on the testimony today. Oh, before that, we'll have the public come up as well. So first, land use board comments. Seeing none, I'm going to open up to the public to come to the microphone to provide testimony or ask questions on this application, LUB 2025-02, 25 Susquehanna Avenue. And seeing no one coming to the microphone, back to us. So, Mr. Mondello, I'm hearing that from our professionals that we should be providing some conditions in this resolution, in particular a grading plan and details about the borough right-of-way construction of the curb and sidewalk.
What I would suggest that really the only condition that I mentioned that's not in Mr. Costa's letter is the grading plan, and then you can say, address all the items in Mr.
And Mr. Costa's plan, love that.
It's a lot less writing for Mr. Mandela.
Yeah. You do have a copy of Mr. Costa's latest report, which is revised September 12th, 2025. All right, we're going to have to get that to you, but there aren't any major changes, so the applicant accepts everything that's in this report, plus what our engineer
plan.
Paul has indicated, the grading plan, which you've already said no objection, correct?
Correct.
All right.
Okay, so I'm going to ask for a motion to approve the application with the condition of the submission of a grading plan, a detailed grading plan, and the applicant addressing all of the comments in the Costa's engineering report dated September 12th, 2025.
So motion.
Can I have a second? Mr. Aboud, here we go for a roll call. Gina?
Chairperson Ward,
Yes.
Vice Chairman Mattson,
Yes.
Chair Judge Covello,
Yes.
Committeeman Chouwaki.
Yes.
Member Abud,
Yes.
Member Holman, Member Duria,
Oh, he's not here. Mr. Smith.
apologize, Member Smith,
Yes.
and Member Holt,
Yes.
Member Mueller. Yes.
Motion passes.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
All right.
Yes, Ms. Kim is going to give you a copy of the report right now. Congratulations. Please submit that grading plan. When should we submit that grading plan?
Well, it'll have to be done prior to a building permit, but it's...
Great.
Okay.
Well, that-
I'm not sure of the board's procedures. Generally, what I would say is they're going to have to submit plans that address all the comments and the conditions. Then the plans can be signed as a record-approved plan, and then that can be submitted to the building.
Did you get that all? Yes? Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Farrar, for that. Moving forward on the agenda, we have no new business. We actually took care of the new business earlier with the master plan discussion. We do not have a closed session on our agenda tonight. So unless there's anything from the board, any last items for discussion or anything, I'm going to ask for a motion to adjourn at 7:30.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second it. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All right, motion, meeting adjourned, 7:30. Thank you very much, everyone. See you